Welcome back. Joining me now, Mark Shakero, who's the CEO of Caregiver Communications, and Eric Dunlap is executive in the mortgage industry. Eric's also a breast cancer survivor, so I want to thank you both for being here with us.
Thanks for
As we
having
see
us.
real men do wear pink, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Right.
Eric, give us your story. You said you really, I've heard you talk about this before, you've been working out and you really thought that was what the problem was.
Absolutely. Doing a strenuous workout, saw this old photo that I wanted to get in shape in a hurry. Wanted to kind of re-impress my wife, actually. When we first got married, she took a photo of me and coming off the beach, and all my muscles were where they're supposed to be.
Where is that picture? You didn't bring that
I
with
did
you,
not bring that
noticed.
picture. I didn't want to have any further shame, but quite honestly, I was in great shape at that point and decided to do a workout because years had passed. We had 2 children, sedentary lifestyle a little more, and the six-pack was well hidden and let's just say insulated somewhat. So I decided I better get into shape, and of course, you know how we think as men, we're going to get in shape that night. So we get up in the morning,
right.
six-pack
That's
is
right.
back. So
Right.
I began the strenuous workout, and after I got to 100 push-ups, I felt excruciating pain in my chest, and it was so great that I couldn't get up. And I thought, okay, I've torn a muscle, something is wrong, and I called for my wife to come to the basement. And when she comes to see what's going on, she looks at me and says, "What's happening? Why did you call for me to come down?" I said, "Well, my chest is hurting so badly I can't get up." Now, granted, we had my 13-month-old and my 3-year-old, and she brings both of them in tow and says, "Well, let me try to help you up." The pain came back more excruciating. Reached to my chest and clutched a spot, and that's where the pain was emanating from. It turns out that there was a lump there, and the next day I went to the doctor for an examination to figure out what does this lump mean? And he initially hoped it was a cyst, but said the mass was hard, so we need to do something a little more extensive in testing. Wrote very quickly on a piece of paper for his assistant to come in and schedule an appointment. When I looked over his shoulder, it said, "See surgical oncologist, schedule an appointment immediately." And the next day, I followed his instructions and went to a surgical oncologist, and 3 days later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow. You have breast cancer in your family, correct?
Absolutely. My mother is actually a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She's had breast cancer in both breasts. Early detection has been very key in her life because she gets her mammogram at the same time each year. So she's undergone lumpectomies, whereas in my case, I had to undergo a radical mastectomy, removal of all of the breast tissue on the right side, a simultaneous reconstruction in which they removed muscle from my back and placed it in my chest so that my chest would be symmetrical. And then, of course, the dreaded chemo. Well, chemo was for 6 months for me.
Wow.
And I'm glad to say that I'm beyond that point. And that 13-month-old is now 19 years old, sophomore here in Atlanta at Morehouse College. And my oldest son, who was 3 at the time, has just graduated from Georgia State University.
Love that. Those are the outcomes we like to hear, Mark, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you are helping to get the word out that real men wear pink for a reason. What is that?
Well, I got involved with this because I've seen college classmates, friends, family members be diagnosed with breast cancer. Some have survived, some have not. I've also seen how has it affected the families and their friends. The treatments are very difficult for the person that has breast cancer, but I've also watched how it affects the stress, the emotions that go on with the families and the friends, and how they've come together to support them. So I wanted to get involved to help support and fight breast cancer with the Real Men Wear Pink program.
What are you doing? What does it mean? What's Real Men Wear Pink?
Well, it's to support the color pink and such to show that we are also supporting breast cancer and the fight against it. And we're charged with raising funds, raising money to help the campaign.
Is it too late? Can people still get involved? Last year, you raised nearly $200,000.
They can still get involved. For instance, Monday night we're having a cocktail party at Paces and Vine here in Vinings.
Love that place.
From 6 to 8:30. Come join us and make a donation and celebrate with everyone else.
I mean,
And I wanted to mention one other thing about it. We are in a little bit of competition as another Real Man Wear Pink. We're challenging
Monday
men.
night. Monday
All
night.
right.
it's on.
And we want to really just raise awareness and raise funds. Research is needed continuously to fight breast cancer. And we're partnering together, although we're competing as well, to see what we can do to shed light on it. I've been impacted directly by it, and as you referenced, friends and family members. So we're challenging men. You want to do something, and that's my challenge. We need to do something about breast cancer, and financial resources are needed to help fight the battle.
There are 25 of us in Atlanta, and we're also competing against other cities like Jacksonville
Oh, wow.
and such.
Oh, you got to beat them. Come on now.
We
Have
have
to.
to.
This is the home of the American Cancer
That's
Society.
right. That's
It's on
right.
for you guys.
Yes, it
certainly
is.
Well, we appreciate it. And we've got a picture of your grandmother as well.
Yes.
Another breast cancer survivor.
Well, my grandmother actually did not survive breast cancer. She died from it. At the time of her diagnosis, the treatments of mammograms and preventative things were not as widely known. And so she was very near and dear to me. I just, still to this day miss
Love
her. That's a picture. You probably are seeing a picture of my grandmother and I as I was a little smaller then.
I
but
love that.
yeah, just seeing her go through the battle was really, really hard on all of us. She suffered.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see anyone suffer needlessly if we can do something to prevent it or detect it early enough that we can do something so that the treatment is not so invasive.
All right. Well, that's why you guys are here. The Real Men Wear Pink, third year in Atlanta. 25 men, as we heard, taking a stand against breast cancer by supporting the American Cancer Society through Real Men Wear Pink. And if you would like to show them your support, guess what? You can wear pink this month and join us. Stay with us. Find out how you can get involved right here in Metro Atlanta by joining in on making strides against breast cancer. That's coming up. I'm going to tell you about several walks that you can still participate in to help raise some money and make a difference. We'll be right back.